video. Uh, this is going to be my experience talking about Asgore's theme of lyrics, Undertale cover, ArekkusuTM edition. Alright, obviously I want to talk about the ArekkusuTM edition of this song. Before we go into the song, there's going to be important things that I'm going to be discussing, like why wasn't this uploaded way earlier? Nearly more than a week or two ago. Slash, probably a month ago now. Like, why wasn't this posted? All of his other sort of stuff. If you haven't listened to it, please, link in the description, go listen to the piece before you watch the behind the scenes, which is what this video pretty much is, okay? I want to kind of sum it up. Alright, so, I don't know when I'm doing that. Ronnie and Dave said the same thing in a joking way. Oh, thank God. I thought I didn't have audio, and that was going to make me delete the video. Anyways, so let's talk about it. Why did I not release this song way earlier, slash before we get into the actual music video itself? There's a lot of history to this one, to Asgore's theme in general. So, I'm joking. It would be funny to make it. It would be funny, like my Asgore talking about the DUI and all that other sort of stuff. That would be hilarious. Maybe for a jokey cover, I'll probably do it in the future sometime. I just don't know when, and I don't know if it'll be now. But anyway, so Asgore with lyrics. This song was made, I think back in earlier 2026, maybe 2025, I think, when I made this piece. Because I remember I was, thinking of other characters to make lyrics about, you know? And you guys also mentioned it, too, multiple times, about Asgore with lyrics, you know? Do a song about Asgore, since you're doing, you know, Sans, Papyrus, you know... I don't know when I'll ever do The Human, or maybe a song about Frisk, or I did make a little bit of stuff about Frisk, if you remember the song that plays when somebody versus Sans, you know, I had some verses with Frisk in there, but not a full song dedicated to Frisk or, you know, Chara or any of them. But I'm going through one by one with some of the Undertale characters, and I was going to just do covers, so it just made sense. Like, you're doing Sans, Papyrus, where's Toriel, where's Flowey, you know, where are they at? And then obviously Asgore was brought up as well. And a part of me was like, you know what? I don't know about Flowey because I don't have, the perfect voice for Flowey, like I mentioned a million times, but I think I can do Asgore because I have some sort of vocal for Asgore. So I remember, I can't remember the exact date. I would have to look back at my video footage for the exact date when I made it, but I remember making it, way early on. Not, as early as Sans or something, but I know it was a while after Sans, and it was, after a certain remake that I made, and other things, and I remember people were just constantly asking for Asgore, and I think I decided to buckle down and make it, right? And when I made that piece, you know, Asgore's piece, I was proud of it at the end mark, but damn was it hard, and we're gonna go into that in a little bit. But I felt like almost not uploading it, you know, in a lot of ways, because if you guys know the YouTuber Indeed No Kira, I made the Asgore piece before he even uploaded it, and I'm not trying to say I'm in competition to get them out before him and stuff like that. Don't get it twisted. It's more of you know, obviously his version's gonna get more views. You know, his video is gonna get a lot more exposure than mine, and I don't want to look like something. You know, I have a thing in my head that I'm copying people whenever I do the same covers and lyrics and release them at the same time as these particular YouTubers when they do their covers. It's oh, my cover is gonna be uploaded 2-3 days after or something like that. And I remember when he announced his Asgore theme, because he had his Asgore of lyrics theme for more than a week by this point. When he announced it and was saying that it's going to be his version of it is going to be uploaded very soon, I was so upset because, keep in mind, right, this was during the time when my Ninja Gaiden video got age restricted. So to give you context for that, whenever a video gets age restricted, and I think I mentioned this in my stone carving city with lyrics video, or I didn't because I didn't know about it until after. I uploaded an unlisted Ninja Gaiden fan dub mega comp video, and that got age restricted by YouTube. And once a video gets age restricted, all your future uploads for a couple of weeks, to a couple of days minimum, or not minimum, but a couple of days to a couple of weeks to maybe even months, your future projects could be ruined. Your future projects could be, under the rug for basically a long time or a very short time, right? And I had to tell everybody after I uploaded that Ninja Gaiden video, which it wasn't like a public video, it was unlisted. So like no one was gonna see it until I published it, because most YouTubers nowadays put their videos on unlisted so YouTube can read it and then properly send it out into the algorithm when ready and stuff like that, right? So by proxy, because of that Ninja Gaiden video, my stone carving city with lyrics, aka Warrior Land Shake It song that I made, got botched by a bit, and kind of got ruined. Now, sure, the age restriction didn't last like an extremely long time. It only lasted like most of that day that I got hit with the age restriction. And thank God, YouTube saw it and took it off, but the damage was done, right? That Wario cover was ruined. And because of that Wario cover getting kind of ruined and botched a bit, I didn't want to upload any more covers or lyric videos until, like, the age restriction died down, or until, like, something died down, like, to the point where it's, like, it's not going to be potent anymore, it's not going to bother me anymore, or it's not going to ruin future uploads. Because, again, at this point, I was just getting back into uploading regular videos and just getting back into the process of it, and seeing that YouTube already is going to age restrict another video that I spent hours or a long time making, which I didn't make up my experience on that mega comp. I just didn't. I just kind of passed that up. But anyways, because I didn't want to, like, I only want to do it for the songs. But anyways, I'm only telling you guys this because it's part of the history, right? So, because of that age restriction, I didn't upload anything for a little bit, but I remember 6 to 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 days ago, but in this timeline, right, I made a community tab post saying, you know what? Even with an age restriction on my channel, or the age restriction that was already taken off by this point, right? Even with that age restriction, I don't want to be restricted in stuff that I want to get out there, like publicly, I don't want one video to block me for months on end, so I decided to upload another cover that is uploaded, which was Megalovania again, but it was like Underfell Sans' version of Megalovania, and that one did pretty well, or pretty alright, right, in my opinion. It did pretty okay. My standards for my regular videos aren't really as high as my shorts, or I don't even have a standard anymore. I just freaking, whatever I think is good for me. Anyways, I don't have like a specific standard. Like, I don't have a certain view count it needs to hit before I say it's good or bad or whatever the fuck. I don't really look at YouTube that way anymore. But even if it gets seen by like 100 people, I'll consider that like really good. Like, thank you for watching type stuff. But anyways, so as I was saying, right, I uploaded that cover, and so many people liked it, and I was like, you know what? Because that cover did so well, I'm gonna finally have the balls, like I did there with that Underfell with Underfell cover that I did. I'm gonna have some balls again, and I'm gonna upload another one. Hence why the Asgore video took way longer to upload than originally intended, because I was gonna upload my Asgore video, like, if there was no stopping points, if there was no age restriction or anything, I was just gonna freaking upload, after the Stone Carving City, I think I was just gonna upload the Underfell, and, and then have the Asgore one up by now, and probably have another one up by now. So meaning, instead of the Asgore one I was gonna make a video on, I was gonna make a video on, the next cover that I was gonna upload, because I upload these covers, I want to start uploading them every 7 days, but a part of me wants to, like, wait, like, maybe a couple months, kind of go back to how I was, but at the same time, my covers are taking up, like, a lot of space in my gallery, so it's not like, it's a whole thing with that. But anyways, so that's, like, one of the biggest reasons why this song wasn't uploaded earlier. Now I kind of want to go, like, kind of into it. You can, after this video is uploaded, I will have the Asgore like cover as my main video on the main page, like on my homepage and stuff. So that way you guys can have an easier way of seeing it. And then there will be like a small little promo skit to promote the song, so that way it can, you know, more people can like see a bit of it or see some of it and whatnot and so on. Now I kind of want to get to the lyrical side of things and kind of talk about like why certain things were so long and certain things were so short, why I made the lyrics the way they are. So if you don't want to hear that, or if you haven't listened to my song yet, I highly recommend you go give that video a watch, because we're gonna be listening to that video, we're gonna be watching that video together, but I'm gonna be pausing throughout it and all that other sort of stuff and kind of talking about why I felt the need to say this verse here, that verse there, and all that other sort of stuff. So go watch the music video if you don't want pauses and all that other sort of mumbo jumbo. Link in the description to the songs over there, or go to my videos tab and you'll see it as the newest video there. Anyways, let's watch this together now. Let's get it in. Alright.
Is someone there? Just a moment. I have almost finished watering these flowers. Here we are. Howdy. How can I? Oh. I so badly want to say, would you like a cup of tea? But you know how it is. Nice day today, huh? Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. Perfect weather for a game of catch.
I know this isn't a part of the lyrics yet, but I kind of want to pause already. I kind of like Asgore's like, beautiful day outside. Like, I love how Sans and Asgore say the same line. It's kind of cool. Or they say the same line, but in a similar way. But I want to talk about why the pre-battle cutscene is so long in comparison to all my other ones. It's mainly because I wanted in this Asgore theme with lyrics, right? I wanted, and I'm going to do this with every cover, so I'm going to explain it each single time. I want a build-up to the song in question. And what I mean by that is I want build-up to, like, the lyrics. Like, I want to give, in my music video, I want to give context to what's going on before the actual song starts, before the actual stuff starts. Now, I know when people download this song, I don't know if people will, to be honest. I don't really expect anyone to, because, you know, I'm not really all that. But I want to give, like, people who watch the video something to watch too, more than just a song, you know? I want to give them, like, what's the context for Asgore going into the fight with the human and all that other sort of stuff. You know, I want to do that for each piece, or most of them, because I feel like for some pieces that I make, I feel like it could go either way. It could be as a short or something, or whatever, or it could be like a short song or whatever, or I want to get straight to the song, but a lot of these I want to, like, especially from a lot of my bigger ones, like Asgore's theme with lyrics, I want to have build up to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though I already said that like 2 times.
You know what we must do. When you are ready, come into the next room. How tense. Just think of it like a visit to the dentist. Are you ready? If you are not, I understand. I am not ready either. This is the barrier. This is what keeps us all trapped underground. If by chance you have any unfinished business, please do what you must.
Honestly, I know most music YouTubers cut all of this out, and they have the bit where he goes dun 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 dun, and that's where they start. But again, I really wanted to have like more build up to it and also kind of differentiate from every other cover. Instead of just starting with the song, I know that's what people are mainly watching the video for is the song, but I want to give them more than just the song, man. I can't emphasize that enough. So that's why I add
I see.
the voiced cutscenes and stuff and whatnot. And if you're wondering, like, there's really, because I know there's somebody out there or some people that are probably wondering how the process goes. To kind of sum up how I make these music videos is, for example, if I have my own footage, like for like the Asgore stuff, right? Sometimes, like most times, I will get a video, like I will record it off my tablet, like in the horizontal format, obviously, so it can be like a regular video and not like stuck in the shorts format where I'm holding it like this. So sometimes I would either grab my own footage of the Asgore dialogue, right? Or sometimes as well, or most of the time, I would like grab somebody else's footage because they just have it, like find something with no commentary and kind of just dub over it because on my device, I have a screen recorder built into the device where I can record basically anything on my screen that I want with no audio, with audio and or yeah, no audio with like media audio, so meaning the audio from the thing in question that you're seeing, and then media and mic. Which whenever I do my voice dubs and music, I always record with media and mic, and this is the exact headset I use for when I go into there, right? Like when I go in there and record a song, I have both my headphones on or one of them so I could hear my own voice, and then I use the mic here to kind of go into it. So when the cutscene like pulls up or whenever it shows up, I just voice it like right here in the closet. Like I go like whatever Asgore says, I go in here and I'm like,
Ah, human. So, you want to cross the barrier. Well, too bad. You're gonna have to get through me to do that. Okay, child? Because I kind of have two Asgore voices. You know, the lighter tone. Ah, human. Welcome to my humble castle. And then I also have the darker one, the one I use more for the lyrics. Hey, kiddo, I don't want to fight.
you know, kind of like that, right? I got like two different kind of Asgores like kind of going on. I have one that's like in song, the one that I use lyrically, and then the one I use for normal speaking. Because Asgore has like two different speaking types, or not two different speaking types. Everybody has two different types of voices, you know, like for example, their normal voice that they go into, or some people have more than two voices. Some people have like a well, most people, just to sum it up right here, most people have two voices. You know, their singing voice, which sometimes is either higher or lower than their normal, or maybe even just the same as their normal. And then you have like your normal voice that you use every goddamn day, but your singing voice is most likely higher.
But usually my Asgore voice that I use normally when I'm recording right here.
And you know, up freaking mic jack hit me. But when I'm recording with my headset, you know, I'm basically doing that, right? To whenever I do the whole audio and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. That's what I do for the whole audio department. If you're wondering like how that works, and I know there's people wondering like how I do my things, and also how do I record it, right? Before I continue as well, how do I record my stuff? I go into CapCut, all right, CapCut, the editing software CapCut, and I basically sing in chunks. A lot of the time I sing in chunks. There are pieces that I have made in the past, like the Stone Carving City, where I did all of it in one shot without cuts. But most of my songs that are way longer than a minute, or a minute 30, or a minute 25, and all that other sort of stuff, I have to make cuts for. So I basically make cuts in certain bits, so that way, like, I can, like, because I have a bad, what is it, like, diaphragm or whatever the frick Louis says I have, and I basically lose like my stamina slash my vocals very quickly whenever I'm sometimes just normally talking, or I talk for a long time, or I'm talking in voice, because I talk in voice whenever I make my songs. I don't just do the normal voice that you hear right now.
Like I said, I do Asgore, so I have to sound like this whenever I
go into the recording booth and do my lines. So whenever I sound like that and trying to sing like that and bring my voice to a new volume, it kind of hurts slash it kind of hurts to do it. So that's why I do my songs in chunks, so that way I can take a breathe or a fresh breath of air before I kind of continue. And sometimes you can tell, like between the edits and stuff, but most times you can't really tell because I cut at the right times and stuff like that. But anyways, to get out of that whole shabako, let's kind of continue the video. All right.
Ready?
Now again, I could have started right here, kind of like how everyone else did with their Asgore with lyrics. By the way, link in the description if you want to go listen to it without my dialogue. It's a whole thing. Anyways, could have started here, but I didn't want to. Sorry for repeating that. It's just, I'm a whole thing right now. Apologize.
Human. It was nice to meet you. Goodbye. I did not want this for to have been kid.
Let me also explain why I made the text big, because I remember Void asked me why you made your text big, and also, yes, I do have different audios for the actual song versus, like, the dialogue, because I do, and also to kind of sum this up, too, is whenever I make a music cover or something like that, I always tend to get the lyric stuff out of the way first, and then I will do the voice dubs after, because it's a lot more strenuous, it's a lot more... There's a lot more work whenever I have to do the song. So doing the voice dubs before the song always kind of like throws me off guard, because I would much rather do... Because like voice dubbing a character for me and saying their lines is way easier than doing the music portion. Because keep in mind, every single song that I've ever made is... There's no script for me to write. There's none of that. I'm just like, basically, this is how my song process is in a nutshell, right? My song making, in a nutshell, is kind of like this. God, I'm so distracted by, I get, ADHD and all that. I get distracted by small things. But what I was going to say, this is how my process works, right? Depending on what cover I want to make, it starts off kind of like this, right? I get a general idea of what song I want to make, because I don't want to make just a cover on anybody. I want to make, when I make a cover, I want to know what character I'm going to make a cover on. And I want to feel not only confident, but I also want to make sure I have the voice that I want for the character to be set in stone already as well. So that way, whenever I go into the booth, it won't be hard for me to kind of, I already have an idea of what I want to do. And plus, I want to get to know the character in every minute detail. What are their goals? What are their ambitions? Who they are as people? And all that other sort of stuff. Because I don't want to just make a cover that I know nothing about the character on. Because, that's kind of stupid. Because then you're just making a bunch of assumptions and all that other sort of stuff, I want to at least know what character I'm making on. Like, what character I'm making a cover on in the first place. And also kind of like the character. I don't want to make covers on characters I don't like. Or have a certain hate towards or whatever. I don't want to do that. I like making covers on characters I like or even love, because that also gives me like the drive and the motivation and all that other sort of stuff people like to use to kind of help me leverage, the anger and the anxiety of fucking up a line and all that other sort of stuff for that said character, and kind of push me to keep going with it, or instead of like quitting halfway through. It's a whole process. And then after I get, I know the character and what to do, I with that knowledge on the character, I pretty much make lyrics out of what I know about the character, and then boom, it's done, right? I just go into the editing room after all the pieces, like sort them together and make sure all the lines are read right. Like, I also do all the text on my own. It isn't just AI generated text that I put in CapCut. I listen to every single word, like, through re-editing / after, getting the video up and stuff. I basically get all the bits that I did right, put them together. And then I listen to the audio, and that takes like over an hour each and every single time I make one of these covers, just to re-listen to each word I said, and then make sure I put it in text and make sure I do my best not to mishear myself. Because whenever you make a cover and you listen to your audio, like while singing, sometimes you will run into a problem of not hearing yourself properly, and sometimes it's arguably made worse whenever you live with other people and whatnot. They're doing their thing, and sometimes you can't hear properly because I have to pause. And keep in mind, I have to listen to my own audio a couple of times each time I do this, just so I can hear myself right. And even then, I still fuck up some words here or there, like even after it's already posted, or it's already after all put together, in a neat little package. So whenever I do this process, it's not perfect each and every single time whenever I do it, but it's the best I got. Anyways, let's continue, shall we?
Put your weapon down right now. I don't want to fight with you right now, kid. Just put your weapon down and make it easy to take over your human soul, so I can cross the barrier for monster kind. I'm going to win against you, little kid. Don't you understand what I have to do, little kid? Don't you understand what I have to do? I don't want to do this just like you. I don't want to fight with you right now. I do not want to fight with you. I do not want to do this right now. Please put your weapon down right now. Make it easy for us. I don't want to fight with you, little kid. Please just put your weapon down so I can pass the barrier with your human soul. I just want to pass the barrier and live a new life. Please understand what I have to do. I have to kill you so the monster guy can live a new life. I need to kill you really quick so I can cross the barrier. So monster kind can live a new life. I need to live. I need to live a new life. I don't want to be.
One of the things that bothered me about this song is that, like, the song in multiple ways, they repeat the same like type of beat over and over. That so when they were doing that over and over again, and like I got so used to that like later in this song I got so messed up for so long that the beat even changed. Because keep in mind, right? I don't get like all my takes of when I come up with something on the first shot. Usually, what ends up happening is I end up like not butchering it, but I end up messing up so many times because I said a swear word. Because keep in mind, right, swearing's in my vocabulary. So trying to make most of my songs that don't fit that vocabulary is really difficult. It's difficult for me because again, I'm not on the same wavelength as most people whenever they create, or I'm not on the same wavelength as a normal person's vocabulary. So that's why saying things without some sort of swear, or saying some things that I usually wouldn't say, is difficult for me. So if you're wondering, there you go. You got a history lesson about that. Anyways,
Anymore. Don't you understand that? Please stop the fighting right now, you brat. I just want to free monster kind now. You got to understand why I need your soul. So please understand me and why I need to take your soul right now, kid. So please understand why I have to take your soul so I can cross the barrier and free monster kind. I need to free monster kind so I can start a new life with myself so I can go cut trees.
this bit right here onward, I was on there in that room recording for like so many hours. Or not so many hours, it was like so many minutes of just me just getting so angry. Because keep in mind, right, whenever I do this music process, I don't have these songs on a script. I don't have all these pieces like lined up immediately. So trying to because this is how I make music now, so it's just kind of like I have to work with what's given. That's the whole point of a cover. You work with what you're given, And if you can't do it, you got to compromise and try to make something fit. It's all about finding the right words that fit with the song in question. And since this is a song that doesn't have like proper lyrics, you know, for me it becomes a lot harder because it's like, damn. Well, I mean, I like it like that because I like a lot of songs that don't have lyrics most of the time, which is why I do a lot of Undertale, Mario themes, and a lot of other themes that don't have lyrics because I just prefer it. You know what's important, but life that makes it better. I got you. But yeah, that's why I remember in the editing room I was screaming fuck because like I kept going on and on about this piece saying like lyrics that fit but that didn't fit good enough, or I cut it too early before I could like actually finish that verse, and I didn't want like any of that in my pieces. And honest to God, like looking back at the Asgore piece now, I'm surprised I even got it out the way that I did without it, because each song that gets uploaded to my page, it wasn't made instantaneously, you know? It wasn't like I first tried the bitch, you know? I mean, unless it was Stone Carving City with lyrics, that one I first tried and I wasn't in there for long. But like most of these songs that I make, like Asgore, Sans, Papyrus, I mean, well, Papyrus was pretty short too, but especially Sans, both versions of Sans, and definitely Asgore and the Spamton ones that I did, and even ones that I might redo those Spamton ones so freaking badly. I might redo those ones, but all those ones took so many hours and so many blood, sweat. Well, not blood, but you get it, like sweat and tears, you know, to kind of get out there, to kind of form into words and to kind of get made. You know, these songs, and I don't like using the word, but I can't lie. These songs stress me out to make. They really do. They stress me out really bad. I'm in there sweating my ass off making some of these pieces because I want them to be as good as I can make them, the best I can possibly do, and send them out there for the world to hear. All right? Because I realize there's going to be, I don't know, maybe more than like 10 people are going to listen to it. And I got to perform. You know, I don't want it to like, I don't want to not perform. I got to perform. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult for me to perform, you know, under like circumstances and pressure and all that other sort of stuff. And then don't even get me started with the pressure I already give myself for being shit at doing music to begin with because of how long my music covers 9 times out of 10 take me to do. And I know Dave and Chris both told me multiple times that don't feel angry, don't feel this way, don't feel that way if you don't come up with something in a day or so. Most of my music that I make, you know, take weeks and whatnot. But for me, it's like whenever I start a cover, and this is some interesting info, I want to finish it that day so that way I can go on and do something else because I get bugged out whenever I don't finish a piece that I'm really passionate about, or I don't finish a certain thing about a song because sometimes I don't get those opportunities to go back in there and do it again. Because, you know, I live with people, so I live with my family. So it's like most time I also, when I want to make covers, most of the time I want like either everyone out or like, you know, just one person out or something like that for most of the time. So that way, you know, they don't get annoyed with hearing me do the shit or whatever. So that way, you know, when I know everyone's out, like I have the time to do it without, with no, with not, yeah. It's not only with no consequence, it's more of like, I want to be able to do it freely without feeling like I'm kind of weighed down by something. And sometimes I feel like when, you know, my family's here, when I'm doing these covers, I feel some sort of weight down because I don't really usually sing whenever people are around. I like singing when I'm by myself, kind of secluded. I kind of usually don't sing at all unless I'm making a cover. So that's like, or trying to think of a cover, you know? So it's kind of like, I feel all these things whenever I do that stuff. And just kind of giving y'all a little bit of like, in the brain, that's the whole point of this, is just giving you a little bit of an idea of what the hell goes on in my head when making these and all this other sort of stuff. Anyways.
Want to be free, so I can go start a brand new life on the surface, but I don't know how to do that without taking bites. Please understand why I'm doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick of fighting humans over and over again for monster kind to have some PPs. Just please stop fighting. need your soul to pass the barrier, kid, so please.
It took so long for that last bit to be made. It took a ridiculous amount of time for that last bit to be made because I kept effing that up for like I think about an hour because this Asgore piece just for it to be all together I think it took me about 2 to 3 hours, maybe even more. Well, no, not I don't know, not 5 hours. There was only one song that took like 5 hours for me to do, which I haven't posted that one yet. But well, I mean, the Spanson one did take months for me to come up with because that was my very first one. But I mean, like 5 hours, as in like nowadays sense. But this one took me like 2 to 3 hours to make, and it's mainly due to me again fucking up lines over and over and over again, and I don't like that.
So that's how it is. I remember the day after my son died. The entire underground was devoid of hope. The future had once again been taken from us by the humans. In a fit of anger, I declared war. I said that I would destroy any human that came here. I would use their souls to become godlike and free us from this terrible prison. Then I would destroy humanity and let monsters rule the surface in peace. Soon the people's hopes returned. My wife, however, became disgusted with my actions. She left this place never to be seen again. Truthfully, I do not want power. I do not want to hurt anyone. I just wanted everyone to have hope. But I cannot take this any longer. I just want to see my wife. I just want to see my child. Please, young one. This war has gone on long enough. You have the power. Take my soul and leave this cursed place. After everything I have done to hurt you, you would rather stay down here and suffer than live happily on the surface? Human, I promise you, for as long as you remain here, my wife and I will take care of you as best we can. We can sit in the living room, telling stories, eating butterscotch pie. We could be like a family. Huh? What's this? Oh! Don't point it in.
And that dope Buenene at the end was mainly just for Rene YT. Like I did it just for Rene YT right there. That dope Buenene. I'm gonna like my cover because I really do like it. I like it a lot. But and that's my entire cover of Asgore, man. I spent a long time making it. The thumbnail originally with the thumbnail I was gonna try and draw Asgore because usually I have a good or not a good but an okay drawings of most of the things I do for thumbnails. But sometimes I just kind of grab like a PNG of the character and just made the thumbnail kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of made the Asgore thumbnail in about like 5 minutes. I just couldn't draw Asgore, and I just said, you know what, fuck it. For this cover, I'll just make it very simple looking. I know not really eye-catching, which a lot of people, whenever they see a regular video, the whole point is to get them by, like, having a thumbnail and stuff, but just a big part of me was just like, I kind of want to kind of just make a simple thumbnail. Even for this my experience making, it's very simple. It's the same thumbnail, but just minus the my experience making. That's the literal thumbnail of this. And because I know people like my thumbnails being like drawings of the characters themselves. That's what makes it kind of stand out compared to other covers, other people's covers anyway. Because I mean, their covers are better looking than mine, hands down. But what makes them more unique is my particular art style, even though it's not necessarily the best or necessarily very all that good, but you get it. It's something. But anyways, I don't want to spend all of eternity talking about freaking Asgore. I spent like 40 minutes talking about him. Again, go listen to the Asgore with lyrics. video, ArekkusuTM edition. It's a pretty decent song. I think it's good. I think it's good enough for everybody that watches it. It's not like too annoying. It's not like the best thing since sliced bread. I think it's pretty average because that's what my goal is, to make each song of mine an average listening experience. Not like a horrible listening experience. It's just an average listening experience. That's what I want. That's what I go for whenever I make my covers. But anyways, I hope you guys all have a great day. Tomorrow I'll make some more interesting, or not more interesting, but I'll make some more content for y'all tomorrow. So we'll go back to normal and stuff and whatnot. But for now, just enjoy the Asgore piece. Enjoy this my experience making with, and I'll upload the small promo skit to promote the song even further. But anyways, until next time, guys, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Peace.